Welcome to 12 Days of Christmas. 12 Days of Christmas, a video series featuring Ashley Stoneman and friends of hers from the Michigan comedy scene. Help Ashley get excited for Christmas as we watch some of our favorite Christmas movies.
Alright, take 6, everybody.
Welcome to 12 Days of Christmas, where I invite my comedian buddies to share their favorite holiday movies with me to hopefully get me into the Christmas spirit. So today we all watched the episode Black Mirror's White Christmas, and I'm joined by a couple of my friends,
Nice.
Zachary Burcar
Yeah.
and Louie Michael.
Hell yeah.
You guys can catch them at Crunchy's basically every Tuesday for free comedy, and or here right now we're talking about this on their couch.
What's up?
So, Zach, you were the one that chose this episode, so what prompted picking this?
I don't watch a lot of Christmas movies, but I've seen this, and I was like, hell yeah. And so I suggested it.
And I have also watched this episode, and actually, we just kind of sprung this on Louie. He had not seen this.
I've been spraying on.
The first thing we have to discuss is this a Christmas movie episode? Like, can we consider this a Christmas?
It's a Christmas special.
No?
It literally came out as Black Mirror's Christmas special. So, you were kind of more strongly on the side of, yes, this is a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
Louie and I were kind of like, what points do you have to make that this is a Christmas?
As Christmassy as Black Mirror can get without becoming not Black Mirror. So it's a Christmas special in the world of Black Mirror. It is.
Yeah, because when I think about Christmas movies, I think about like that happy feeling that you get at the end, like, oh, everything's so happy and it's Christmas. That is not the case for the ending of this episode.
It's darker. It definitely. I always think Black Mirror is a lot like Twilight Zone, but Twilight Zone always had like a happy Christmas ending, where this one was like, gotcha, it's Black Mirror. Do you feel shitty? Gotcha, because it's Black Mirror. Merry Christmas, fuckers.
Here's your present. You're confused and uncomfortable, and you're like, we are so close to being in a reality like the one that's presented in this episode. It is kind of freaky to think about being able to capture moments with your eyes and take pictures.
And we're really close to it. Like, I kill senior citizens all the time.
Yeah.
And I also like leave children for dead. I also frequently talk to consciousnesses that are not actually human, and then break them mentally.
Yeah.
Break them down.
I just more
That's
or
a
less,
regular day.
That's just who I am.
I just like my toast underdone just a little bit. These
Oh,
are all
that's good, yeah.
inside jokes.
Have you seen
not
it?
seen it?
If you
Although
have seen
you all should have Netflix, so just go watch the episode. Like, stop right now, go watch it, and then come back.
Yeah, because it's not going to make a lot of sense if you don't know the twists and you haven't seen this
Right.
episode. I think we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves because there's 3 stories that intertwine in this episode, and they all like kind of build on each other. And by the end, you're like, whoa, they're all connected.
Yeah.
Just the universe that it builds that this exists in, and the fact that the first story is connected to the very last story.
Well, yeah, that's the overall like episode arc, but we're still touching base on why it makes it Christmas. Right?
Well, yeah, and Christmas comes up a couple of times. It takes place around Christmas. The assault on Grandpa there is, but they also are like having the Christmas dinner. That's kind of the beginning of the episode. He's like, well, it's Christmas. We should have
he
a
lures
Christmas
them in
dinner.
with a weird false sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, so we should talk to each other and drink. That's exactly what I do for Christmas.
No, I was kind of cynical at first, of where I thought it was just like, this is just some Black Mirror story that we can wash in a Christmas tale to make it a Christmas story as well. But honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, they intertwined Christmas to the point where it's like pretty. It was a pivotal part of that episode.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, so even though it is very dark, and this isn't the first kind of dark movie that I watched for this series, but it has that Christmas theme, but without the warming your hearts part.
Yeah, it's definitely a dark Christmas story. It kind of aired on the same ending if anybody's seen Krampus. Like, where it's like, you don't feel great at the end of it. And then it's kind of also like a fuck you to anybody that loves Christmas, like, to the point where, like, Christmas is infallible and you always have a good time. It's like, nah, this says, like, it could be like any other shit day. Merry Christmas.
So one of the things I like to ask in these episodes is, what was your favorite part of this? Like, if you had to pick one scene or line.
I don't know, probably the interactions between the two guys in the little room, the cabin, them talking to each other, and him like stringing him along and making him feel more and more comfortable and secure.
And that's kind of the narration that carries the whole story.
Yeah,
these two guys talking in this remote cabin.
I think my favorite thing is John Hamm getting his. Because he's way more the antagonist, I think, than anybody else in there. Like, clearly, that one guy, kills the old man. It's kind of like a passion killing.
Yeah.
And then the little girl dies as a causation to that.
Yeah, just
but
for
John
him
Hamm,
thoughtless.
in the same way, murders a guy, or at least leads to a guy's death.
And witnesses.
Yeah, earlier on, witnesses it. And is also a sexual deviant, and just kind of like way more a piece of shit. Like his job is like breaking people's consciousness. So it's like, yeah, I think if there is a happy ending, it's that he gets his.
John Hamm is a sociopath in this episode, whereas Joe, that character, is like, John Hamm says that. His character says to him, he's like, wow, look at you, you have empathy, you care about people. He could never even understand it. Yeah, obviously he's a much worse human being across the board, which makes the whole... So you can tell immediately when he's talking to him that he's like trying to get information from him, even though you don't know any of the deets. Obviously, yeah, he's like a bad guy. He was like luring him along the whole time.
He wants him to talk. That's the whole thing. He's like, come on, have a conversation with me. Oh, here, I'll tell you a story, and he really is trying to get this guy to tell him a story.
Here's the thing, though. Why would John Hamm... That's the one thing I'm having trouble with, is, like, he seems to be very cunning and smart. Why would his first story be self-incriminating? Like, he knows the cops are watching.
I think at that point, they already knew, right? Because and I don't know if that's, like...
No, it was like a gotcha moment.
Clearly...
Yeah. No, they knew.
Because he said... You needed me, and the trade was that he would be freed if he could do that. So it's like, they had to have already known.
Okay, I did take a piss at that conversation scene, but I didn't know if they knew that, like, he witnessed.
Yeah, there isn't actually a scene with, like, the cop being like, we have this on tape, we blah, blah, blah. But they, like, have, like, a couple of lines of dialogue.
Okay, I'll have to rewatch it, because I thought they were more or less like, no, you don't get to go free. Like, we saw you... say you saw that shit, you didn't tell us earlier. No. So I feel like it was a gotcha thing, but...
Well, and that was, they kind of do say that. They're like, you don't get to just go free, even though you helped us get this other criminal to confess. So that's when he gets punished, and he gets that ultimate block put on him. Which, every time I watch this episode, I'm always like, man, that would come in handy.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last part that I like to ask is, if someone somehow had not heard of this or had not seen it, and you wanted to suggest to them that they watch it, how would you go about pitching that?
I would be like, we're gonna videotape your reaction after, so just sit down and watch this with us.
Because it's a lot of fun.
Zach picked it.
Yeah.
That's my pitch.
So.
Yeah, that would be my pitch. Also, the movie you wanted to watch was taken already by somebody who apparently pouted about it. Red Vine Kalamazoo?
Oh,
name drop!
Shots
Name names!
fired!
I'm just kidding, buddy. It's no fucking big.
He's not watching.
No, he's not watching. And if you are BBK, I'm so mad at you. No.
We need to talk about Die Hard
Burger
anyways.
Von King.
Yeah. So anyways, I would be like, Black Mirror is a great show and a dark take on Christmas. And if you hate Christmas, you'll probably like this. And if you like Christmas, you'll probably be like, well, I've never seen it from that perspective before.
So
But if you like good television thrillers and mysteries, it's probably just good to watch.
No, my actual pitch would be like, this is a nice break from like the normal Christmas movie formula, and if you like movies or like
If you like
specials,
movies,
or if you like film or like cinema with like real substance, then this is a good thing to watch.
but if you like fluffy bullshit, get the fuck out of here. I can't hang.
If you tell me your favorite Christmas movie is Elf, I'm not gonna take a watch this.
I'm gonna tell you to go watch Despicable Me.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is a great
Hang on,
place.
you can't put the character voice back on that.
Yeah, that's
this
bullshit.
week's done.
That's bullshit.
There's no etching.
Rip it down. Show them who you are. You
Yeah.
don't use a studio voice after we talk.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
great.
a studio.
That'd be great if you're like, we got Zach and Louie, and then I'm like, hey, welcome to the show. It feels good to be on the show.
I've got to tell you, I was not ready for the twists and turns that this episode
My
took on.
God.
And with that, we're going to call it on this episode of 12 Days of Christmas, where I have had a fantastic time hanging out and laughing with Louie and Zach. Not really sure if it has helped me get into the Christmas spirit at all, but the tree is nice.
Yeah, dude, like
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
like on Christmas Day when you open up all the boxes, you're like, thank God there's food.
Wait. Leave it running for a second. Leave it running for a second.
Yeah, dude.
There it is.
Yeah, man. We'll say.
That's the end.
Right.
Is
A lot of
it?
B-roll on that.